You are very welcome back to us now. Our taste buds are watering. We are travelling to Italy this morning with something the whole family can enjoy. Shane Rigney from Riggers D8 is in charge of the kitchen. Good morning, Shane.
How are you?
I'm brilliant. You know, I just wish everyone at home had smell-o-vision.
I know.
Smell-o-vision.
I know. Well, that's the one I've made earlier. So that's that one that you could smell, and it really does smell very Italian.
To open the nostrils for that Parmesan cheese. Talk us through what you're doing this morning, because obviously aubergine, it wouldn't be something I would use regularly, but actually, in fact, I bought some in the supermarket and they're sitting in the fridge there, waiting for me to do something with. So I'm delighted you're here this morning.
Do you have a few of them?
I've two.
Yeah, well, that'll do you. Like, you know, aubergines are quite big, so I mean, just use a smallish dish so you get a couple of layers out of it. And when you start slicing it, you'll know how many slices you have. Fantastic. So don't use a huge big dish, like maybe half the size of that, right? So Melanzane Parmigiana is the proper name. It's an Italian aubergine Parmesan. Okay. And it's just a very simple tomato sauce. So I've made the tomato sauce ahead because, you know, we wouldn't have time to do all of that. It's literally some passata or tinned tomatoes, garlic, some red wine, seasoning, and some oregano. And that's it.
That's not bad.
Like, throw it all in. You can do your garlic first, saute it off, and then put your tomato in. I was stuck for time. I really quickly did the garlic, and then I just threw the tomatoes in and just let it simmer away for about 40 minutes, and then blitzed it. And that's your tomato sauce, right? And the recipe's all there. So what you need to do is you slice your aubergines lengthways, okay, in a 1-inch kind of thickness. And these are a few that I've already fried off, okay? So I'm frying them off in the pan here. Have a tray ready to go. So what you do is you slice them up. For this dish, you'll use about 4 aubergines.
Okay.
You lay them out on your tray, heavily salt them, so like loads of salt, cover them in salt. Table salt is fine.
Okay.
Let them sit. You can leave them for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It draws the water out and makes it nice and soft. If you bake it just raw, it will stay hard. It won't be very appetizing. Okay, so this is what you need to do this process. But a half an hour is good even, if you're stuck for time.
And Shane, of course, obviously aubergines, and I said I have my 2 at home, but what if I want to use meat? Can I put a bit of meat in this if I wish?
Do you know what? No, like I mean it wouldn't be this. Like melanzane is just like it's a parmesan, or it's aubergine, tomato sauce, and parmesan. Like that's the dish. It's a kind of a famous Italian dish, and it's obviously veggie. It's cheese in there, so it's not vegan. But you wouldn't add meat to this. Okay. You know, you'd be kind of going towards a moussaka then maybe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So you salt your aubergine. You then rinse them off. Lay out a tea towel or kitchen paper. Pat them dry, and then they end up kind of softer and more pliable and porous to take in the sauce, okay? And then you need to fry them in batches. Loads of vegetable oil, hot pan, okay? And you are frying them in a lot of oil, okay? You don't want to pat it all out. You're not trying to fry them to crisp them and then pat all the oil out. You want that richness and you want them to absorb the oil. That's part of the dish.
Now, Shane, this actually seems like an easy enough dish. I'm always learning. I love learning about cooking because I never really had that with my parents. You know, my mum wasn't really, you know, a cooker
like traditionally
at home.
in the kitchen and stuff. Mine wasn't either. We didn't have that either. But my dad started actually to cook more and more and more. And then I was into it and he was kind of into it. We were kind of doing it at the same time. And so we were just learning. And then I went obviously on to train.
Of course, different. I just love getting dishes or kind of tips and tricks on how to make stuff that's easy for me to do at home. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is definitely an easy dish. There's a few steps, as I say. You do your aubergine, you let them salt, rinse them off then, and then pat them dry. Then you're frying in batches with some olive oil in a hot pan, and then this is your aubergine then. Again, you just want the aubergine to soften and absorb all the oil, and then you start layering it up, okay? So we're going to start doing that now, because otherwise we'll never be finished. Right, so baking dish, okay, so ceramic or a tin, whatever you have, and then you're going to just layer up your aubergine. Okay?
A bit like lasagna almost.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what it's like. Okay, so you just layer it up, and then... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, this is a very reasonable dish to make, you know what I mean, in terms of price per point. I mean, it's something that you can do for all the family, you know, whether you're, or indeed if you're a student or whatnot, like, and also healthy. Yeah,
it's very economical. Absolutely, like a nice dish. Like if the students can do it, it's a bit chefy. It's not the usual, like, you know, like rubbishy food. It's healthy, as you say. So I'm going to layer up my my aubergine with some sauce, okay? And then, as I say, here's I have all these all ready to go. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to speed this up, right? So more tomato sauce.
I love the way it's just throw them in. I mean, that's great.
That's it.
There's
It
no
bakes up
finesse to it.
perfectly. No, there's not
Just
for
go
this.
for it.
It bakes up really, really nicely. And it all comes together. You know, you're layering it with cheese. What we want to start doing then is layering up some cheese. So I have some Irish buffalo mozzarella.
Yum.
Toonsbridge, absolutely gorgeous, okay? So you can go for any mozzarella you want. You can buy grated mozzarella, but it's good to kind of get the good stuff really, really makes it that bit nicer,
God, it
you know?
smells unbelievable.
So we're going to layer up again. And so you're putting some cheese in between, all right? So let's just get all of this in, yeah?
Simon's looking over,
okay,
thinking to himself, I hope you're plating up for Simon. Oh, jeez,
okay. So with the top layer of aubergine, as I say, you can do this as finely as you want, all right?
Okay, Shane, yeah.
So more passata on top, okay? So that's your final layer, right? So let me just get that out. And then I'm going to put more mozzarella on top, each layer. So I've just done 2 layers in this big dish to show you, okay? But this one here is a smaller one, and it's about 3. Okay.
Would you do any other cheeses or just stick to these ones?
Mozzarella, and I'm putting Parmesan. Obviously, you need the Parmesan because it's Parmigiana, okay? So in between each layer, you can do some Parmesan. Okay, so on the top, loads and loads and loads and loads of Parmesan.
Oh, my mouth is watering. This is...
And then I have some panko breadcrumbs.
Okay.
So that's the top layer, okay?
But you just buy these, or
you can buy these.
You
can dry it. You know, if you've got some really good, if you've got some good sourdough or stale, like white bread, and blitz them up in the food processor. Okay, loads of Parmesan then again on the top. Like it's Parmigiana.
This is a Sunday feast.
So it's rich, Parmigiana, and then when I finish is a little drizzle of good olive oil. Okay, so a nice drizzle of good olive oil.
Oh wow!
And then see, yours is there then. Sliced up, so that goes into the oven. Okay, this is what it's going to come out like.
What are we putting at?
So I'm going to cook this at 190, 200 for about a half an hour, 40 minutes. Just make sure, get a knife, and then just pierce through to make sure that the aubergine is well cooked. And then when it comes out of the oven like that, you just finish with a little bit of fresh basil.
Oh yeah.
I would do more Parmesan once you're dishing it up, and then that's it.
Listen,
very simple. That's easy. So it's a simple one, few steps, but follow the steps. Assembly, easy. A perfect Sunday.
You know what? Exactly. It's perfect Sunday dish. It's easy. It's economical. It's a bit of a no-brainer. I mean, you were so quick doing it there.
It's a good one to have in the arsenal as well.
One to have in the arsenal. Yeah. Well, I check it's not poisonous.
I need the taste test.
Oh, it's amazing.
Is it good?
That's amazing. I'm going to have to eat all of this in the break. The full recipe details are up on our website. Of course, you can call in to Shane in Riggers D8 or try his wares for yourself. Definitely do that. Up next, we hear why every man should get checked this November. Stay with us.